to the channel, folks, and to a video that I've been meaning to do for quite a while, but I've not got around to it till now. I think it's going to be quite hard work for me, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. So this video is going to be about how to make battle reports. It's for Flames of War, but in the general things I'm going to talk about could be applied to any battle reports that you might want to make. So why am I doing this video? It's to try and encourage people to do more battle reports, to be honest. There's not too many of us out there doing them, and the more there are, I think the more chances exist for other people to get involved in the hobby, and also for us as a community to discover more people who can create good content. So I'm going to look at a number of things in this video and try to give you a few pointers, the benefit of my experience. I'm going to be looking at the setting for your reports, presentation styles, camera work, vocal work. Have a look at what is potentially bad in a report and what is potentially good in a report. Camera work is important. Now, this video I'm not going to be talking about cameras and editing software and all those kind of things. I'm no expert on that at all. I've got this camera and I use the same editing software that I've used since day one. So it's not really about the technical side of things. You'll find loads of tutorials, I'm sure, on YouTube to go into that kind of thing. So when I'm talking about the cameras, it's more about how you're using them to record the games. Now it's worthwhile after you've recorded a game or two, or do it regularly. Review it. Look on the various formats that people can use to view the video. Look at it on a TV, look at it on a laptop or a PC, on a phone, or on an iPad, something like that. Because something can look okay on a little screen, but when you expand it up, it's like, oh, I'm getting dizzy here, I'm getting dizzy. If you're moving that camera around too much. So Soviet turn 1, these guys here are moving up, these guys are going behind them, the mortars are staying put obviously, these guys here are moving up behind these infantry, and then you've got these Su-122s who fired over these guys and never ranged in, and the mortars, of course, they stayed put and they fired over to try and get these guys. They ranged in and got a pin but didn't do any killing. So try to keep the camera work nice and smooth. I've got a terrible habit of wandering around with the camera, or in and out of them talking about something. So just try and keep it smooth, move from point to point slowly, so that it's not going to make people feel dizzy. If you can keep the camera in one place, that'll maybe help, but then don't zoom in and zoom out really quick, because that's probably even worse. Sound's an important aspect, and it might come across differently on different viewing formats too. I've had the occasional comment from people who consistently can't hear what I'm saying. But when I go back to the videos are talking about, I can hear it okay. So I think the most important thing is that you're aware of sound. If you've got the camera on one side of the table and someone talking on the other side, just make sure it can be picked up, and then boost the sound if you can on your editing software. And then for some people, especially people like me from Scotland, maybe you've got to watch the colloquialisations, shall we say, like this. Yon wee ball bag is doing my dinger, I just can't give him the malky. That remaining command base is causing me frustration. I have been unable to kill it. Talking to a camera isn't necessarily something that most people do naturally. I certainly don't. I think I don't blink at all when I'm talking to the camera. Just check this video and see if I blink, folks. That was deliberate. So talking to the camera isn't necessarily an easy thing to do. And if you want to choose that presentation style, then you've got to consider how you're going to come across. You may feel that you need to take on a bit of a persona. I've seen that in some presentations where some people are a little bit overexcited perhaps. Some people may be a bit, a bit subdued because they're talking to the camera. So whatever style you're going to choose, just make sure it's something that you're comfortable with, and as long as it's not something that other people are going to be uncomfortable with, then it's what you need to do to get yourself talking, and that's your choice. It's going to be a valid one. So we could have tonight it's Germans against Soviets, or we could have, so in the world of flames of war tonight, it's going to be brutal, there's going to be no prisoners, who's going to win? I'm probably nearer the first one than the second one. Part of your presentation style is going to be what you're pointing the camera at. By that I mean ugly mug, hands, crotch. Good dice. There's a few channels where I'm actually more familiar with the presenter's crotch than their face. That didn't come across well, did it? Joking aside though, once the game gets started, it is pretty much fingers and crotches. Once again, that just doesn't sound good, does it? But it is hands and crotches. I'm not really going the right place with this, folks, but you know what I'm saying. The choice you've got is before the game and after the game is that face to camera presentation, and whether or not you're comfortable with that. So one more aspect of it's kind of about presentation and kind of about content as well, and that's your dice rolling. I have seen some games where the camera's spending most of the game over the dice tray. It's just a constant stream of dice getting rolled. Now, some of the games where I've tried to introduce more dice rolling into it have kind of gone like that. You've got like 16 dice from a machine gun platoon, roll them to hit, then you've maybe got 10 saves to make, roll them to save, then you've maybe got 4 firepowers to make and 4 more dice, and nothing happens. It's not the most involving, it's not going to keep the attention of the viewer. So it's probably worthwhile recording your dice, but then playing back the important ones, the critical ones, the ones that make you go, oh no, or oh yeah. Those kind of dice rolls are more what you want to capture rather than just the repetitive dice rolling. Right folks, let's consider where you're going to be recording your battle report. Now, most of us are going to have to do this in a domestic setting. You may be able to do it like in a shop or a club, but that presents its own challenges because of background noise. But let's go on the basis that you are going to do it in a domestic setting and consider some of the challenges, difficulties, wives you're going to have to deal with. Okay folks, so you've got approval from the local authority for where you're going to be able to play your game of toy soldiers. So what do you have to consider? Now, the place where you're going to have your game, you're going to have to think about the background, lighting, and also noise. So when you're considering the background, the camera's going to be looking mostly at the table, but you are going to catch some of what's beyond the table. So think about things like family pictures, family members, you know, your prize collection of Johnny Holmes videos, the kind of things that maybe you don't want to be sticking up on the internet for people to see. Getting the lighting right can be quite a challenge. A lot of living rooms maybe got softer kind of light in them. Maybe a dining room might be a bit brighter, but have a look, try your camera out before you start recording a game. See how it looks. Make sure there's not too much light. It could be the lighting that's being used is maybe too direct, or it could be coming through a window, coming through curtains, coming through blinds, Venetian blinds for instance, and creating stripes across the table. So have a look and where necessary compensate. I've got a nice light that I use. I can move it around wherever I want. At the moment it's fixed here, but I can use it around, move it around where I want, and that was very handy to get the lighting right for the games. So when we're talking about sound in terms of the setting, it's more about the background. Where are you recording? Is it beside the kitchen? Is there a washing machine whirling away like mad? Are there kids running around like mad outside, making a racket? Any distracting things really. And the best way to get around that is just to make sure that you've got a little bit of communication, domestic communication, so you don't get any interruptions that are unexpected. You've probably seen me play games on the current setup, but let's have a look at the setup such as it was that we used when we were playing down in my living room, and we'll go through a few things that we could pick up on from that example. Here we have a game that was run down in the living room, and you can already see actually a classic crotch shot there. But apart from that, in the background there's already stuff opening up. Who knows what we could be revealing there, folks. This is where we have to be careful. Oh, and wallpaper. You'd be surprised. People actually comment about wallpaper. Thankfully though, nobody mentioned anything about the dodgy work on the skirting board, but there are people out there watching for all kind of things, so you might just want to consider carefully what you're revealing in these background shots. Starting with a nice hand shot there, lots of waving and gesticulating, but what's that in the background? Oh my goodness, we've gone and got an innocent bystander. I'm just glad she wasn't picking her nose, or that moment would be captured forever on your battle report. So watch out folks, what's in the background, or who's in the background. But in this game I was careful to, I made a few blunders there folks, but I was careful most of the time to be looking against the wall where there was nothing except, as you can see, try to peek into view there, nothing except a mirror to show anything. So it is at least impersonal, if you understand. The personal stuff was behind where I was filming from. So have a wee think about where you're going to take your shots. Obviously the game is going to determine certain positions, but you can think about where you're taking your shots if you've got anything or anybody you don't want to get involved in the video, and with a wee bit of practice you'll be comfortable working in whatever area is available to you. Luckily my wife wasn't annoyed about getting caught on camera there.
You video on me again, you die!
She would never really hurt me. So that was my old setup, my much more domestically situated setup. Let's have a look at what I'm using now. You're probably familiar with my setup that I'm currently using. I've been using it for a while after I managed to squeeze a wargaming table into my sort of junk room. All of my, excuse me, terrain and armies and so on are all kept under here. This is on wheels, I can push it in and out, so I've got enough space to work at my painting table. all of my DJ stuff has kind of been squeezed into this corner here. My goodness, it looks horrific, doesn't it? But it just about works. And it certainly works well for filming. Now, that space is, and background as well, taken care of, folks. Obviously you can see the blue background is more for photographs than anything. But there's also lighting. And I've got this big LED panel. As you see, it points at the roof because it's a white ceiling, and that light bounces down onto the table in a bit more of a diffused way. So it's an indirect source of light, and the time of day that I am recording reports is typically afternoon or evening. So I'm not worried about light coming in through the windows, because by that time of day the sun has moved around to the other side of the house, so you don't have like streaky lines going across on the table. So there you go, folks, my current setup, and hopefully you can see the logic behind how I've done this. Okay folks, we've got our equipment, software, we've got our setting, we've got our presentation styles. Now we need content. So let's think about the good and the bad, the do's and the don'ts of creating the actual battle reports themselves. So this next section is observations from my own reports and other battle reports that I've seen on YouTube. The ultimate aim for me when I'm making a battle report is to make something that's entertaining and informative. People are going to want to watch it. That's the general aim, folks. It's not just about turning a camera on when you're playing a game. So in terms of good things, you probably want to have some kind of structure to what you're doing. Now, your game may be presented in one way or another. It could be like a picture montage, it could be just recording all the way through, or clips, turn by turn, that I tend to do with the other players on the channel. So whatever you're doing, you still need a bit of a structure about it. And by that I mean a structure that you can follow and the viewer can follow. So you're not going to miss anything out. There have been times in the past where, because you're playing a game, remember, as well. And you know, I've been that keen to get on to the next stage, the next game, the next turn. It's really important that I forgot to record the previous turn. That is another thing, always remember to press record. So if you've got a structure, so at the end of every turn, just in the same way as when you're playing the game, you've got a starting step and then so on and so on, have a set of steps that you're going to follow to make sure that you capture all of the important information that you want to pass on to the viewer. Another thing that's going to help the reports is being good at the rules. If you're just learning the game and that's part of your reports, then that's fine, but make sure you make that clear to people and say, I've seen people doing it all the time, we're new, if we're getting anything wrong, stick it down in the comments. That's good, that's involving, you know, being interactive with the viewers. But otherwise, try to be good with the rules. I don't always get them right. In version 3, I knew them inside out because I was running 2 events a month. In version 4, I've never run an event, and I find the way the rules are written really weird. So I don't always get them right. So if you're going to present an entire game and show individual actions all over the place, individual little instances of rules that could be happening, you've got to get them right. So a good report has got good understanding of the rules. Make sure both players on the report are committed. Even if it's just to that one video. You know, if you've got somebody who's kind of sitting, I've been dragged into this, you know, doesn't look so good. A report looks good if both players are equally interested in the list that they bring in and the outcome of the game. Enhance your channel with other kind of content related to the games. A good example of this is a recent series of videos done by Fog of War. You've probably seen it if you follow Flames of War on YouTube, but he was building up to a tournament, so he put his list building and modelling journey on the channel, and you can do the same. You know, as you're building up through a series of games, perhaps, or getting ready for a campaign that you're going to start. You don't have to be a great modeller for this, folks. There are lots of channels who have got great modelers and great painters. You don't have to be great to share the list building and development and modelling journey. And it's something that will give a greater dimension to your battles when people come to view them. Another good thing to do is collaboration or seeking support from other YouTube creators. People who are doing things that you're interested in, and you maybe like the way they're doing it, and you want to ask, how did you do that? You know, why did you do that? If you can get involved with these people and start conversations, then you'll find that you'll start to increase not only your own understanding, but also the opportunity for direct collaboration. And they say a lot on YouTube in the content producer world that collaboration is a great way forward. So don't try to do things solo. See who else is out there and reach out to them. Your reports will look much better if the table is cleared of all the little bits and pieces that will get put down there during the game. Templates, dice, tape measures, books, cards, all these kind of things. Make sure you do a sweep of the table before you take your pictures or your clips, just to get them out of the way so everybody can focus on the battlefield itself. Painted figures is something that will definitely improve the look of your games and bring people back to the channel. Grey plastic figures, for instance, or yellow plastic figures don't necessarily look very good and can put people off, and therefore not give you the chance to show what your battle reports are all about and what your channel's all about. So if you are in a situation where you want to play a list, but the kits aren't painted or the figures aren't painted, just give them some kind of basic undercoat, guys. Got a quick spray, something like that. As long as there's a bit of colour on them when they're on the table, they're just going to look pretty much the same as everyone's painted things. So take a few minutes to make sure your lists, your figures, are as ready as possible for the games. Now for the don'ts, I kind of felt inspired to record a few clips. So, here we go. So if only one of you is doing the turn summary, don't fall into the trap of being egocentric. Don't be the triumphalist. It's like, yeah, for every great thing that happens to you and for every great thing that happens for your opponent. So that was a great, brilliant, fantastic turn of shooting. I mean, I managed to kill him and the Shrekman. That's so important. Oh, it's brilliant. And him, you know, so that leaves just a tiny wee amount of guys that I can now go in with an assault with and win the game. So in the assault, the Germans managed to kill him, and they bailed out both of these guys, so they've been captured. Now, you want to be having a competitive game, you know, you want to be having that tussle back and forward, that doubt over the outcome and so on, but you should be thinking about organising your games for your battle reports in a bit of a cooperative way. For instance, the following scenario doesn't really work for a battle report. So I'm playing Jimmy, we're doing mid-war Eastern Front. Now I decided I was going to bring a horde of infantry just for a change. Yeah, huge lumps of badly trained infantry with lots and lots and lots of artillery, all badly trained. So we'll see what these human waves can do. Now Jimmy's decided to bring a specialist tank killing list. He's got his Panthers, so there's a couple of platoons of Panthers, company command, Nebs, and an observer. So we'll see what those Nebs can do to my big lumps of infantry. Oh, and there is a bit of armour there for those Panthers to get their teeth into. It could be an interesting game. So we rolled for the mission, folks, and we got no retreat. We both decided to attack. We rolled off and I'm the attacker. The defender in this mission, we should point out, has got deep immediate reserves. So Jimmy is going to be starting the game with the Nebelwerfers and 2 Panthers on the table. Let's see what happens. So there you go, folks. The end of Soviet turn 3. Well, what can I say? You know, the poor Nebs, they were up against 4 batteries of artillery. They got slaughtered. Left the objective open, and these guys, well, they did their best. You know, they shot a couple of bases of infantry up. Killed the armoured car. Yeah, it's not bad, not bad. But, you know, the assault went in and, you know, just a bit of bad luck. They would have got reserves in next turn, so they would have got at least 1 platoon of Panthers in next turn. But let's go over for a recap and see what we thought of the game. I've actually seen a game that was almost exactly like that, folks. Now, I might be wrong, but that's probably not going to be a good game to watch. You might be happy to come up with that matchup as the Soviets in a tournament, but you know, if you're going to be preparing a battle report to share with other people, they're just going to click to the end, yeah, Panthers are dead. So talk before you play, and if anybody wants to bring anything weird and wonderful to the game, organise the game around that so you can explore the strengths and weaknesses of weird and wonderful lists rather than just play 3 turns of inevitability. Now, there's nothing worse than when it's over before it's even started.
Ha! Tell me about it.
I don't know what she means. Your viewers are going to want to spend a bit of time watching the game, not sitting knowing exactly what's going to happen next because of something that has clearly gone critically wrong. So if the game's over before it started, for whatever reason, you might want to just start again. It doesn't necessarily take a lot of time, especially if it's, you know, something that's happened right at the start, or start again on a different night or in a different session and do another report. In the past, I've not used reports that have been so utterly one-sided and finished so early that, you know, like it's been like one side wiped out, the other side nothing happened to them, game over by turn 4. That's not a very interesting report. So it's not just about getting a win for one of the players who are in the battle report. The win is for everybody, so to speak, in that you've presented an informative and interesting game to the viewers. So now you're ready to actually play the games. You've got to think about what it is you're going to bring to those games, because the games are not going to play themselves. Games are played to a large extent according to the personalities of the players. Like poker, except not as clever. So, are you going to be a channel that is just discovering everything, discovering the game and inviting people to come along on the journey? Are you going to be a channel which is going to be showing like the pinnacle of list selection, the pinnacle of tactics, so people can learn from your experience, perhaps? Or are you just going to make it up as you go along, like I do? But one thing I would recommend, put it this way, if you think of it like this, people are going to watch you and they're going to get ideas from you, one way or another. Are you going to give them the right kind of ideas? You know, I believe new gamers are the future. Teach them well and let them, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm talking about here is cheesy gameplay. It's a World War II historical miniature game. It's got rules that have been written to reflect that. However, every rule, most rules, certainly some rules, can be applied in a way in which they were not intended when they were written. This we call cheese. Now, that's all it's got left in tanks. If I can kill those long barrels, those short barrel 75s, they don't stand a chance against me. How am I going to do this now? At night, it'd be nice to get my T-70s round the flank, but can't do it. Cannot get them round the flank. If I just shoot at these guys, he's just going to be mistaken target on them. I've really got to try and kill these guys. if I do this, I can't shoot through my own teams. Let's see, I'll go like that, see? Which means every hit's got to be allocated to the 70, the long barrel 75s. Genius. That is in fact one slice of cheese, folks. So is critical turn 6. If I can keep those eye issues away from 8 inches away from that objective, I've got it in the bag, but I've only got these guys left on this side of the table. They cannot hurt them. Wait a minute. He can't drive through live enemy teams, so if I go like this, he can't drive through buildings. Roadblock. Tactical genius. Never mind tactical genius, folks. To me, that's 2 slices of cheese. So how am I going to stop that Tiger tank? I've only got these T70s. Oh, wait a minute. Hey! Tactical genius, try and move now. Going up to 3 slices of cheese on that one, folks. But you know, it's up to you what you want to do, how you want to play the games. This is just my, just my thoughts on the matter. And you guys are probably, I've only got up to 3 slices of cheese there. I'd imagine you guys have got some 4, 5, 6, who knows, even more slices of cheese kind of experience out there. So stick it down in the comments, guys, if you've got something that you need to get off your chest. Let's summarise that. So, to start with, before the game, you've got your presentation style, you understand how to use your equipment, you have got a place to play, you've got your light and sound sorted, and your armies ready. During the game, you've got a structure in place, a turn summary style that you're going to stick to. You're conscious of your camera work. You've got a like-minded opponent to play against, and you've got some good matchups. After the game, you're going to engage with comments with your viewers. You're going to engage with the wider community as well, where you can, and post up other supporting videos that help build your channel. Well folks, there you go. I hope you found that useful, interesting, and hopefully something that will give you the confidence, inspiration to start making your own battle reports. It's not something that I think we're going to have too much of, folks, so if you feel like giving it a go, then learn from what I'm telling you here and from what you've also picked up and enjoyed from other battle reports, and hopefully we'll see your games on YouTube in the very near future. Thanks again, folks. I've got it, by the way. Hips and hands.